Okay, Rob, so the players are leaving today. There's a few of them. What's your message to all of them and to the supporters who have put up with this year from hell?
Look, first of all, I have to say it has been a year from hell, and I think everyone's got the same sentiment. For the players that are leaving, I just want to say thank you very much for everything you've done for the club. You know, week in, week out, you always put in 150%. And I just want to say, as one of the 10,000 fans and members, we love you. We love you guys. We think you're fantastic. And I would love to see you come back in 2 years. Also, Hoffy, we'd like to see you in a year.
All right. So you obviously. That was my next question. You obviously read the Fairfax media reports this morning that Greg is extremely keen to come back after 2 years. What do you make of all of that? And does that further enhance your thoughts that he may have been pushed?
Look, I'm not sure of the whole situation. I mean, we can only speculate. But deep down inside, I honestly think Greg really wanted to stay at the Melbourne Storm. He's been here, since he's basically been a young kid and come up through the ranks. And I think he doesn't just like Melbourne Storm. He actually likes Melbourne as a city. He loves living here, and he's stated that numerous amounts of times. And it's really sad to see him go, but I really hope he does return because he's a Storm man, and we love him.
And what have you, from this year, obviously you've met a lot of new friends, we've banded together as supporters.
Yep.
Obviously we've got very sour memories from the whole year. What are the good memories you'll take from this year, and what things will you remember that make you smile from 2010?
Oh, look, it's been an extraordinary year, really. I think the thing that makes me smile is that, I feel, if this had happened to another club, they might have just folded. Melbourne Storm have shown so much heart. They're like a pack of lions. And basically, they've just kept on going. They've continued winning, which I think is just fantastic. It shows how much depth they've actually got at the club, and also the types of personalities that they have. I think next year, if we can come back, I think we'll come back bigger and stronger next year. And I think if we can play finals football next year, that'll be just fantastic, And if we can win the grand final, then, that just shoves it right up the NRL. You can throw everything at us, even the kitchen sink if you want, okay? But if we come back and win the grand final, that will really show, how good we are.
Well, we're hoping for that. So next year, touching on next year, where do you realistically where do you think we're going to finish, and who do you think will be the standout players for next season?
Look, I don't think it's unrealistic to.
As the 20s have just scored.
Go Storm!
As the 20s have just scored.
Yep. Look, basically, I think I don't think it's unrealistic to for us to finish in the top 8. We've got some outstanding talent coming through. We've got Justin O'Neill and Dane Nielsen. For me, I think, look, they're only young, they're still learning, and I can just see them improving heaps, actually. I think they're going to be standout players next year. And of course, we've got the favourites who, are just champions week in, week out, like Billy Slater and Cooper Cronk, and we've got the greatest captain in the world guiding us.
And some of these young boys behind you, Rob.
Oh, look, they're just fantastic. I saw them training yesterday for the fan day, and look, I think it's not so much the players, it's the actual culture of the club.
Yep.
The culture at Melbourne Storm is that, look, basically, if you're not willing to put in 150%, I don't think the Storm really want you here. They encourage people to work hard and reach their full potential.
All right, we know your thoughts on News Limited, and the fact that you've basically joined us in calling for them to exit the club.
Yep.
Worst case scenario, them staying basically their full tenure. What's your view, and how do you think we can survive with them at the helm for the next 2 seasons at the very least?
Well, look, I think
as Josh Jerome has just kicked the goal from the sideline, just to top it off.
Look, I'd like to see eventually News Limited, out of Melbourne Storm, and for perhaps the 4 independent directors to take over. I think what the players and the club really need from us in the next 2 years is for us to stick with them. I mean, the last thing they need is, people sort of going, oh, well, News Limited's, in control of Melbourne Storm, let's all leave the club. Because, if we all leave, then we don't have a club.
And that's exactly what News Limited want us to do.
Yeah.
And without encouraging us directly, that's exactly what they've implied, that we should be doing. And obviously, you can see right through that, being a man of a good education, you can see right through what they're trying to do.
Thanks a lot, Jamie.
All right, and finally, as the 20s again are pushing forward, finally, today's game obviously is the last game of the season and it's a sellout. How do you think the members have been treated in all of this, with the $1 tickets being offered, with members paying upwards of $450 per year to sit in this little section, when people today are getting it for $1?
Look, I sort of look at it in two ways. I think, the membership perhaps get a bit more for the money that they actually put forward to, become a member, especially, being a premium member, what you actually mentioned, the $430 tickets, and I think it's about $520 if you want to get the after party medallion as well, because that's an extra $90 on top. I'm pretty sure that's mathematics. But look, I think, this is almost like a grand final for us today. We're not playing for points. The season's over after today. I think it's good in the sense that, we're going to have a sellout today, and people who perhaps may not have come to a Melbourne Storm game before, they might be across the road at the MCG, it'll give them exposure. And hopefully if Storm put in a fantastic effort like they always do, and, we see some champion moves from Billy Slater and all of our stars, it might encourage them to, take out a membership next year, and I encourage everybody to.
Fantastic. All right, Rob, thanks very much for your time, and we'll see you bigger, brighter and happier season 2011.
Yeah, bring on 2011. Thanks a lot, Jamie.
Thanks, Rob.